It was only a ring from where it started. I was 23, just crossed my teens. Mature or not, God knows. I was living the usual life that every other person of my age lives. In the final year of my college, I was still figuring it out what next to do with the life. Studies, exams, and amid all this, somewhere I too was breathing, living a life which was going somewhere I did not know. I was exercising with my workout buddy Sam when this guy came up there. "Hey Sam, how are you, brother?" he said. "Hey Danny, so pleasant to see you." Sam got off the treadmill to talk to his friend. I was still running. A little later, Sam came to me and said, "Ria, meet Danny, my friend. And Danny, this is Ria." "Hi Ria, nice to meet you." He extended his hand. "Hey Danny, nice to see you too." So, Sam and Danny were going out for a coffee, so they asked me to join too. So we went to a nearby coffee shop, and there was this coffee on the table and three of us. "So, what do you do, Danny?" I asked. "Well, I am a high school student." I laughed loudly. "Really? You don't look that young." "Well, that's a compliment," he said. "And by the way, what do you do?" I said, "I'm about to finish my college this year." "Oh, really? Neither do you look that old," he mocked. So that is how our talks went. After an hour, we left the coffee shop, and just as we were about to leave, I realized the diamond ring in my finger was missing. "Oh, hell!" I yelled. "What's wrong?" they both queried. "My diamond ring, Sam. It's not in my hand. Mom would kill me if I miss it." Relax, relax. "Where did you lose it? Just try to recall," Sam said. I must have lost it in the coffee shop. As always, I must be playing with my finger and it must have fallen off." "All right, come on, let's go in then," Sam said. And so we went in. We searched for the ring for about an hour but could not find it. We talked to the manager, but the grass was long and thus it wasn't readily visible, and neither could our scrounging fingers find the ring. I was really upset, and after an hour of effort, Sam said, "Let's go now. I don't think we would be able to find it." My face fell. "It was my dearest ring, Sam," I said half-heartedly. Three of us, we stood in silence for a while. "Let's give it a last chance," Danny said. We agreed, and so, with all our sincerity, we tried to find it one last time. Danny, Sam, and me. Finally, something fell to my finger. I rooted up the grass there, and yes, it was my ring. I finally found it. I jumped with joy at the very first sight of it, and everyone around, they just laughed seeing my happy face. And this is how our first meet went. Next morning, I received a message from an unknown number. "Good morning." "Morning, who's this?" I texted back. "Oh, sorry, Danny here. Sam gave me your number." So, this is how our talk started. Starting from appreciating each other's pictures, then getting to know about each other, our talks grew. Soon we were friends on Facebook and friends in life. One day, Danny asked me about my ring. "Ria, the ring that you wear, your diamond ring, it's really pretty." "Oh, I know, thank you," I said. Well, you never told me about your fiancé." "What? Fiancé? Are you mad?" I laughed. "Who told you I was engaged?" "But you wear the ring in your ring finger." "Well, that's because the ring fits best in that." "Oh God, wait, hold. You mean you're not engaged?" "No." "And do you have a boyfriend?" "Hell no. I bought this ring when I passed my high school exam. I love rings, so I wear it. And there is no other damn reason to it. It is as simple as that." I was kind of annoyed and he started laughing. "Thank God, all these days I was thinking that you're already committed in some relationship. Your answer is such a relief." What? What do you mean by that? I said in a very suspicious tone. He laughed. Oh, nothing. Just wanted to tell you that you're a very pretty girl and you've got the sweetest smile that I have ever seen. And the best thing is, you're single. I giggled. Danny, you mad. As the days passed, our meetings increased. We shared some awesome time together, right from street food to movies to exploring new places to shopping. We enjoyed our time together. Finally, one day he went down on his knees and, with his hand asking mine, he uttered those three words which were already in our hearts. I love you, Ria, he said. I had no tears, neither was I filled with any surprise, for the time that we were spending together already told us that we were in a relationship which was unnamed yet existed like a certain truth. I just took 2 steps closer, held his face in my palms, and said, I love you too. He quickly hugged my waist, still on his knees, and planted a little kiss on my belly. And I laughed to myself. Love was in the air, and so was my youth, all speaking my mind. With passing days, we started sharing some more time together. Hugs, kisses, promises, the usual companions of a lovely relationship flowed in. I completely surrendered in his love. In meantime, I also got joining letter from a multinational company, and it was like a dream come true. Life was a roller coaster ride, all full of adventure. There was no looking back now. In my mind, I had no doubts. I was seeing a life with him. Yes, he was young. While I was joining a job, he still had to graduate. Yet I had no second thoughts on him. I enjoyed life with him, and he seemed to enjoy it too. When our relationship started, I was no way in love with him, but he, from the very beginning, loved me. As for me, I did not love him. Rather, I fell in love with him. Slowly, gradually. And this entire process was so amiable that I fell in love with the entire journey that we shared till today. And I wished my feet never had to pace without him. It was the final month before I had to join. My appointment was in Singapore. In mid of all travel arrangements, a thought came to me. All sunk in love, I thought, before I leave this country, I want to be his. I wanted to name our relationship. He was very young to marry, to tell my parents that this is the guy I love. But I wanted to marry him secretly. One of those weird childhood fantasies that I had in my mind. To me, marriage meant to give yourself completely to someone. And that is why marriage has always been a very important part of my life, because giving yourself completely, unconditionally to someone required you to be really brave to trust a person, and then it is up to that person to make you up or break you. Doesn't it sound like a big gamble, an adventure? Yet it is the most beautiful experience that one could have in lifetime. Marriage, I believed, was a tie of unconditional trust, complete giving, and truest of all promises that a man can make. That day, I called him and said, Danny, let us meet today. Okay, he said. I bought a ring for him and we went to the same coffee shop where we met the very first time. And intentionally, I chose to sit on the same table as that day. We ordered our coffee and started talking, and then finally I started speaking up my mind. Danny, I love you. I love you too, Ria. I smiled to him, and then after a pause I continued. Today, our entire journey comes in front of my eyes. Right from being complete strangers to this day where we fill each and every part of each other's life. We have spent about a year together, and never did I feel that I made a wrong choice. Yes, we could never admit our love in front of all, but neither were we shy of the fact that we were together. You have become my strength now, and imagining even a single day without you is very hard for me. Before you, life was very different, but now it seems to be really enjoyable. Yes, we have had our ups and downs, but we were together. And as long as we are together, I believe we can get through any ordeals in our life. Danny smiled. I agree, Ria. You're the best part of my life. You have given me some best memories. You made my life a picture perfect one. I smiled and gently took his hands in mine. And as he held my hands firmly like the very first time, his grip assured me that he was all mine and that those hands belonged to me. Slowly I said, Danny, I want to marry you before I go. Can we have a secret marriage? Let Almighty be the witness of our union, and let us promise to be together for life and face any hurdles brazenly in His presence. And maybe when time comes, we can tell the world. He did not speak a word, but his hand spoke for him. Suddenly I realized he was loosening his grip. His eyes were no more looking into my eyes, and his fingers were receding. After a long silence, he said, If I were your age, I wouldn't have hesitated even for a second before committing it to you. But I'm 5 years younger to you. I'm still a kid. I cannot think of marrying you. I did not stop from saying I love you because I believed I could give you my love. I could give you this relationship. But for now, I can give you only this. Marrying you is simply out of imagination for me. Our entire talks now echoed my ears. Now I realized every time that he said, I want to give you the best I have, he never forgot to add, as long as we are together. Often he would say, I want to live my life with you in this moment. He would always say, I may not make you my wife, but you are the best part of my life. And I realized how easily did I turn deaf to all those as long as we are together and in these moments. Never mind, Danny, I said. I'm not going to force you. This is a huge world. I would find someone. I was hoping that some way he would understand what I really felt in my heart. But rather he said, Yes, you'll get many. The one you marry is going to be a lucky guy. You're a lovely girl, Ria. I'll be back. Saying this, I rushed to the restroom, struggling to prevent my tears from rolling off. As soon as I was away from his side, tears rolled down my eyes uncontrollably. It took me 10 complete minutes to somehow control myself. Shall we go? I asked him after I returned. But we just had coffee, he said. Well, I have got some really important work at home. I really need to go, I said. Oh, okay, he said. And so we paid the bills and we started moving out of that garden. So the ring I bought was still in my pocket, and this was the last time that we were walking with our feet together. I forgot my cell phone, I said. Okay, I'll bring it, he said. Oh no, that's fine, I'll get it. Saying this, I went back to the table where we were sitting, and he moved out. I could still see him walking out of the garden, and there I stood, still wishing that somehow he would understand and stop. But he did not. He was at the door of the garden, and here I was with the ring. One step and the other, he was out of the garden, and there, that ring fell off my hand. The ring that never belonged to someone. The ring which hoped to keep all the promises we made but could not. A ring marked the beginning of our journey, and here was this ring today on the ground. Today this ring was no more than an unkept promise. It was the witness of silent death of the love in my heart. It was the hope that I had lost that day, and so it lay there in the grass. Today it was visible, nicely visible, but somehow today I did not want to bow to pick it back. I wanted it to fade out of my sight, and so I took a step forward. And there it laid behind my broken heart